everyone, this is Fire Moon and welcome to this video. This reading is going to focus on bringing your attention to any potential blockages that might be there in your life, in your general energy, in your auric field, or anything else that might be holding you back from experiencing love to the fullest, whether that is in romantic relationships and partnerships, and any other type of relationship in your life when it comes to self-love, of course, as well as just your general experience of abundance and fulfillment. So just a little disclaimer before we begin, I did title this video, What is Blocking Love? But I would like you to come to this reading without any specific assumptions that there's anything wrong that you're doing by default, whether that is in your energy in general, the way you're expressing yourself, the way you're expecting things to happen, or the way you're investing your energy. So the main aim of this reading will be to see what messages Spirit has about your ability to amplify love and to open the channels of receptivity when it comes to love in your life in whatever way that is most powerful and healing for you at this time. So I do have 5 piles for you here, and you may of course pick more than just one if they call out to you. So I'm going to show you each of the stones that go with them. So pile number 1 is going to also have this green aventurine stone. Pile number 2 is going to be fluorite. Pile number 3 is going to be lapis lazuli. Pile number 4 is going to be blue goldstone. And pile number 5 is going to be sodalite. I'm also going to show you the piles without the stones in just a second. So take a second to see which one calls to you the most, and I will get started with pile number 1. So hi everyone who picked pile number 1, as well as this green aventurine heart. So this reading is going to be about the potential blockage that is there in your life that may be causing you to not receive as much love and abundance in whatever area of life that you're looking to experience more of it. So as mentioned in the intro, it would be great if you came to this reading not necessarily assuming that there's something wrong that you're doing currently, or that there is something about your investments or the way that you are putting energy out there that is phenomenally wrong, or that is making you experience something that is negative necessarily. So we're just going to see what the cards are saying. And fun fact, I am re-recording your pile, so I'm going to take this as an indication that other messages wanted to come through for me. So think of this as a sort of reorientation. So let's just get started right away. I'm going to use the pre-shuffle cards that I used for every pile. I will reshuffle the cards that I was going to do that with anyway along the reading. So the first card that we're going to look at is going to indicate what this potential blockage is in your life. The second card will be about the area of your life that it might be manifesting in. Then we're also going to roll some astrological die that give us further information about how this is manifesting in your life potentially. Then we're going to look at more information about this situation. And in the second part of the reading, we're going to get some advice on how to shift out of this energy that might be limiting your reception of love and abundance. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first card that we have is false beliefs. Once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways we can release the false limitations they confine us to. Okay, can't read anymore apparently. So this is card number 13. That might be significant to you. So that signifies your potential blockage. So something related to your mentality, to your inner monologues, to the mantras that you tell yourself, that you repeat, whether internally or externally. It's about your words as well as your thinking patterns. And the area of your life that it's manifesting in is represented by this card, which is supernatural, inexplicable, miraculous, and otherworldly. So this is number 39. That might be significant to you as well. 3 and 9 add up to 12, so that is a number 3. This is a number 4. So 3 is about collaboration, co-creation, and 4 is about stability within that. So this card already makes me think of the 12th house, which is associated with Pisces. And we also have fish on this card, so that might be significant to you. You could very well be a Pisces. I'm also getting Aquarius vibes and just in general air vibes in the sense of the air signs, because this card here reminds me of the 8 of Swords. So whatever potential blockage there is in your life at the moment has to do with a feeling of confinement. That word confine is really standing out to me there. It's about feeling stuck in something that you can't break free from, or that you seemingly can't break free from. This is about perceiving something in your life, whether something about your current situations in general, like where you're at, maybe in relation to your work, in relation to the people who are around you, that feels restricting and limiting, and that is not allowing you to take certain action in the direction of your true dreams. Because here, Supernatural, this is really about your dreams. This is about manifesting your dreams into reality. The 12th house, which it makes me think of, is about your deepest dreams, but at the same time, your subconscious dreams. So in general, whatever blockage there is in your life at the moment, when it comes to the energy of love and abundance, and I feel like for you it's interconnected, it comes from a place that is mostly subconscious, so you're not fully aware of it. This says, once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, there's this need here with both of these cards to shed some light on something that is hiding in the dark, whether in your patterns of thinking, in your feelings, sort of in that place within you that you haven't looked at in a while. We also have the owl, which is an important figure because it's a bringer of truth, and it's about speaking things into existence, and it's about just the energy of speech. This is definitely very throat chakra oriented. And from this beautiful vampire oracle deck that I have, this card is one of the most positive ones. It's all about inner magic. It's about your own uniqueness. So it also makes me think of Aquarius energy, definitely Pisces energy. And my gosh, I can't speak. See, I keep clearing my throat. So this has something to do about a blockage when it comes to expressing either energy or the potential that you have within yourself, and believing that it can manifest and that it can take root in beautiful material form, that it doesn't have to remain within that little box within you, that box of unfulfilled dreams that you might have stashed away and that maybe has acquired some cobwebs or something like that. Let's roll the astrological die and see if we can get more information about how this is manifesting in your life, what area of your life it's affecting at the moment. Okay, so we get, wow, interesting. So we get the 11th house, which is the house of Aquarius. We get Leo energy as well as the sun. So this is, yeah, literally about suppressing the energy of your true self as well as your true power, and suppressing something about your creativity and your ideas. I think this is what really this card is speaking about to me. There's something that you believe is not achievable, whether that is union in a beautiful, loving, generous, playful, sort of solar energy partnership and romantic partnership, or any other type of partnership, or whether that is the full manifestation of your dreams. This, I think, is some sort of blockage when it comes to your ideas about what you're able to manifest. So I think this is, for some reason, I do think that this is affecting several areas of your life, and it's all sort of interconnected. The main message that I'm already getting for sort of advice is that there's this need to recover your true self, as well as your belief in yourself, in your uniqueness, in that specialness, in that magic, that inner magic. This card really is about that. The qualities that truly make you uniquely you, and that make you powerful, magical, and just, supernatural force in the sense of your potential to create, as well as to just shine in the world in this beautiful way that is non-questionable, both to yourself and to others. So there's something about, yes, suppression of energy, about who you truly are. And because of that, you're blocking these desires that you have for, whenever I do get Leo, and we've been getting a lot of Leo energy and these piles now that I can say retrospectively doing a reading last, which talks about a sort of energy of a power couple, or of co-creation in this beautiful, expansive, generous way that's sort of in the public sphere, or in some sort of public space. The 11th house, it's about friendships. It's about not just that, but it's about institutions and about communities. So there's something about your place within a community that you feel has not been claimed yet, or that you're not exactly sure how you fit in a certain community. You haven't truly found the group of people that you really connect with the most. This is really what this is speaking about. And what I'm really getting is that you're meant to embrace your uniqueness and those ideas that are special within you, and those characteristics about you that stand out, not suppress them in order to attract those people who really feel like your home people, whether that is in romantic partnerships, business, professional, passion-related partnerships. So let's get a little bit more information about this with these two cards. Okay, so we get the World from this beautiful El Goliath Shadow Tarot deck, and it says the Sacred Circle. And we also get the Two of Wands, which says the Lightning Struck Antenna. So very interesting energies. The first thing that sort of stands out here is the World card is ruled by Capricorn in the tarot, which is ruled by Saturn. So this to me talks about big endings and new beginnings, but also about the foundation and the construction of big structures. And you're looking basically for the ultimate, whatever it is, whether ultimate life partnership, ultimate opportunity to create your dreams, to make them come into reality, into material reality, so they don't get stuck in that box of unfulfilled ideas and energies. And you're looking to really, the world, the most obvious thing, we were just talking about being in the world and experiencing these powerful energies and experiences of co-creation out in the world, not just in your mind, not just in the astral realm. The way I was thinking about this card also is there might be a sort of surplus energy when it comes to you sort of manifesting and meditating on those manifestations, but sort of it doesn't seem like it's panning out. It doesn't seem like it's externalizing. There's some sort of, and you're wondering, like maybe you've done a lot of this work already, a lot of this sort of energy work, and you're wondering why is nothing happening. Maybe that's why, you clicked on this video, you're wondering what is blocking these things. And this is about knowing how to materialize them in the real world. And what it really stands out to me in this card is this beautiful sort of endless spiral of fishes. They look like they're part of a cosmic whole, and they're just sort of going about their business in this almost automatic way. And here on one side, that's a good thing, is to be, part of the fabric of the world, to be at one with the universe. This is a very Piscean energy as well, obviously more fish. But I think what really needs to happen here is that you need to sort of lay claim to your true, unique, individual power before you can join any sort of whole. This is really about that, especially with the 11th house coming up. You have this deep desire to find your home, to find your people, to find your network, right? But there seems to me a need to claim more of your power somehow before you do that, to really get to know yourself at an even deeper level. And if you say that I've already done that, I've already done so much shadow work, so much meditation, so much, etc., there's something else that needs to be illuminated and shown to you as a source of true power. Again, with Leo and the sun coming up, there's something about your true essence and your true potential to be powerful and creative that is being suppressed right now, either because you're simply unaware of it, or because you're sort of second guessing it, or you are basically underestimating how powerful it can be for you and how important that is as an essential element of who you are. Okay, here we go with the sirens. So here with the Two of Wands, this says the Lightning Struck Antenna, right? So this reminds me a little bit of several tower cards in certain decks, which are usually represented by the energy of lightning. It also makes me think of Uranus, which of course is the electrical planet, the planet of change and of innovation. So once again, we really have important Aquarius, Pisces energies, as well as, of course, the Leo. This is about your true passion and purpose in life, which cannot be replicated in exactly the same way for anyone else. So there is a certain need to receive an epiphany or to understand something about yourself that you haven't yet. And this will come when you sort of break apart from this eternal, endless, sort of automatic spiral of daily existence, of just joining the crowd and going along with the flow. Like, it's great to go along with the flow. The highest energy is that of surrender in many ways, in the sense where you're no longer fighting, you're no longer sort of willfully desiring things or wanting to create things out of sheer, intense will, but where you've sort of surpassed that energy and you can just go along with what's happening. But I think for you, there's this certain overemphasis or just over attachment to the energy of going with the flow, to the point where you're not claiming your full power. So I don't know, let's see what this epiphany is about and how it will potentially come to you. I guess that we will find out more as this reading goes on, but the next part of the reading will be basically about what you should do and what the energies of your spirit guides as well as your higher self are telling you to do in order to clear those channels of receptivity when it comes to love, so that you basically invite more of it in automatically, as well as invite more abundance into your life just by simply having cleared those channels in a specific way. So the first card is going to symbolize your sort of task that you're being called to embrace now in order to shift out of these limitations and blockages. So this is represented by the card The Bridge here from my Archetypes deck. And this is, I think, 38, card 38. So we are back to 11. Well, did we have 11 before? No, I don't think so. We had 3 and 4 combined, yeah. Yes, and this talks to me about, this is really the energy of not just being, as we were sort of gathering from the other cards, being on a sort of threshold of manifestation and of moving from one past cycle to a new one, but this is about bridging that energy of spirit with that of the material realm and of real life and of physical existence. So this is about balancing out. It reminds me of this card from my Moonology deck, which is, I think it's full moon in Pisces or new moon in Pisces, and I'm recording this on the new moon in Pisces. So it talks about, I think it says, balance spirituality with practicality. So if you've been working on integrating a sort of daily spiritual routine, or if you've been working on your commitment to doing a certain daily meditation or energy work of that sort, like that's great, and you might be in the sort of first stages of integrating that in your life. This is telling you to not forget about the real world too, and vice versa. It's telling you that maybe those things that you are focusing on in your real world, like for example, if you have a 9-to-5 job that's, that's sort of forcing you to continue in this daily endless grind of the spiral that is not allowing you to pay attention to your true dreams, which you've boxed away, then this is saying detach some of your energies from that endless daily grind spiral so that you have enough energies to focus on your dreams and on the energy of spirit in general, whether that has to do with your true hopes as related to your purpose and your passion and your profession, or whether that has to do with your true relationships that you want to attract, the ones that will bring true fulfillment and deep love in your life, not the ones that feel perfunctory or that feel disconnected from your sense of home and your sense of the network that really feels like your people or your group or your community. So a sort of double message there with this. The card that signifies what you should do in order to fulfill this task that you're being encouraged to embrace and to fulfill is this card, Tangibility. Make your dreams real. 32 adds up to 5. This is about change once again. You're in a sort of I get an image of a sort of seesaw at the moment. You feel like if you move in either direction, there will be some imbalance, and that imbalance has to come before you can get started on this new journey. There will be a time that feels a little bit destabilized. Like for example, let's keep that example of the job that feels disconnected from your true purpose and passion, but that you still have to work in order to have some sort of stability. The world is also about stability. It's about abundance in a certain sense, in the sense that it's you're working on the big structures of your life, and you want to save perhaps money, and you want to make sure that the income that's coming into your life is steady, right? So you have to continue working that job. You might not feel like it's possible right now to just drop everything and focus on your dreams in this idealistic sense. This is about not being afraid of that moment of destabilization when you do make a choice to move in a new direction. And again, you don't have to drop everything about what makes your life stable currently, but that doesn't give you that true soul fulfillment. There is a way to sort of do both, and it's this back and forth energy, but not in a sense where you're undecided, but where basically you're sort of recalibrating this connection between that dream world and your physical reality. And one important message that I am getting is that right now, think about your ideal relationship, partnership, think about your ideal job, think about your ideal daily existence and what it feels like to just wake up every day and feel happy, joyous, abundant, blessed. Think about that. Does your current reality look like it? If the answer is no, and I feel like for a lot of you, at least in one of these areas, it is no, don't be intimidated by the fact that that goal and that ideal situation feels so different than the current reality. This is all about taking that first step towards that dream world reality relationship and not being, just scared at the fact that there's no way that, I can have this and that. Like, it looks so different right now around me materially that this seems like, like a crazy dream, like an illusion almost. Piscean energy, that's also about illusion sometimes. But this is telling you that you don't have to take all those steps all at once. You can just move forward very, very incrementally every single day, and all you have to do is make that commitment in the same way you could have done already to your spiritual practice every day, to your meditation, manifestation practices. In that same way, all you have to do is make a tiny commitment that every day, for example, when you come home, if you do have that job that doesn't connect to your passions, for example, if you are in relationships that feel draining to you or that don't feel like home to you, make a commitment every day, just 20 minutes of working on, for example, like your side passion. Like maybe you're an artist and you work a corporate job and every day you come home and you're tired and you just kind of want to go to sleep and that's all you can do. Regardless, make a commitment every day, just 20 minutes to work on your art or to focus on it or even to meditate on it, so that your attention is not completely shifted from that area and so that your energy is not entirely focused in that thing, in that structure of reality that is not connected to this vision that you have of your truest dreams. Basically, this is about, making your dreams a reality. There is absolutely no limitation to this. And back to the idea of the Eight of Swords here with this card, which talks about confinement, right? And the feeling and the illusion of it. This is what I'm trying to tell you, is that it's an illusion. The fact that things right now look a certain way does not mean anything about the future and the future potential to change that reality, to transform it into something better. The bridge is always about some sort of crossing, and that crossing will be difficult, but it will be a little bit unstable, but it will be something that is absolutely worth it. So let's see what the spirit guide, who is either literally this individual or this entity or someone from your spirit tribe who has an energy similar to this, or who has a message similar to this to impart to you at the moment is. So it says Remph, Angel of Time. So this is telling you that nothing is lost, nothing in the past that you've done, no specific choice that you've made has depleted you of future opportunities towards fulfilling this highest ideal in all these areas of life, whether in love, in your profession, or when it comes to abundance in general, however you interpret that. It will take some time to make these changes, to bring these dreams into reality. And every time the World card comes up, this is about a big cycle. I don't expect that this situation will change for you in the next few months. This will take at least 6 to 12 months to change. But think about it, 6 to 12 months from now, would you rather have taken those small steps and committed to those maybe 20 minutes a day on that thing that will bring you closer to this reality than not? And if you really add it up, like 6 months, 6 to 12 months times 20 minutes a day, that's still a lot of time collectively. So this is really about incremental steps towards ultimate change and transformation for the absolute highest. And this spirit guide is telling you that to be patient, but at the same time not to wait around. So don't compartmentalize, oh well, these dreams are so grandiose, so so fantastical that there's nothing I can really do to change them. The more you do that, the more you're wasting opportunities that really want to come your way. And it's telling you, don't do that thing where you finally, decide to, take a small step forward and then you're like, well, why is it not manifesting? Well, because you're in the early stages of that, and this is giving me a lot of, the missing card here is like the Seven of Pentacles. This is giving me that feeling of, you're not going to, like, checking on the seeds that you planted like every 30 minutes is not really going to help them grow. It might actually hinder their growth. So make that commitment to that first step forward in the direction that you want when it comes to manifesting ideal partnership, ideal situations, abundance, and know that it's going to lead you in the direction that is right for you. So first card, now I'm asking about what will happen if you accept this task, which is to shift your mentality to realizing that, A, there's no limitation, no guaranteed limitation to your capacity to invite change and manifestation of these dreams, and that there's no choice that you've ever made, no situation that you were in, and no partnership that you ever experienced that has forever changed your ability to receive blessings and to manifest your dream reality. So first card that we get is Father of Swords. So it might be someone who's very practical in the sense of, you look at, like, on one side you have this very spiritual side to you, and you are aware that there are, energies that are happening there in the unseen. Let me just double check. You know what? I might take these cards. Yeah, I'm gonna take them, even though there are a little bit more cards here than in the upcoming piles. I'm just gonna lay them out because we get the one that I was just talking about. I'm going to put this here. Wow, this is crazy. Yeah, better than the first time I recorded this, I think. Anyway, so this is talking about your incredible ability for discernment. So you might be someone who, looks at your current reality and you're like, on a practical level, in a practical sense, I don't see how this and this can happen, because for this and this, I need this and this. I need that and that opportunity. I need that person to connect with me in that way. I need certain connections in order to make any of this happen. I need to have these partners that look this specific way in order to create this change or to co-create my situation, my reality in the way that I want to. So on one side, there is that aspect of you. On the other side, there is this element of you that is your spiritual, basically your higher self, which understands spiritual energy and which works with spiritual energy and is not afraid of the fact that there is this sort of what feels like a disconnect between your dreams and your situation in life. This energy here, this part of you, understands and believes that just because something has not panned out yet, has not manifested, does not mean that it's not coming, and does not mean that the universe is not already co-creating with you and working with you. So this is telling you to have patience. Interesting also, we have an owl here. So yeah, this is telling you to have patience and to basically be open to receiving certain signs as well as you are on this journey. Like, if maybe you have gotten a lot of signs lately from the universe that are telling you like things are manifesting for you, things are going really well, you're on the right track. Do not second guess those just because something hasn't happened yet. This is talking about you have that key that's necessary for success within you, and sometimes you don't recognize what it is, and maybe sometimes you need to uncover several keys in order to fulfill this reality that you want, these partnerships that you want. And Father of Swords is also giving me sort of Ace of Swords vibes. This is once again epiphanies. So quite literally, by just accepting this task of opening your mind and saying, I'm going to just assume that these things that I want are possible. I'm simply going to assume. I'm going to make a commitment to assuming this rather than every single day second guessing it, because it's illogical to keep hoping when there are no indications that these things are manifesting in my life materially yet. So just like for a second, let's just commit to basically assuming that this is all happening and that it's possible. At that moment, you're going to receive these sort of epiphanies that give you these hidden keys that you've overlooked within yourself or around you that will be able to move you further along. So there, I do also get the sense that, if the situation is not as dire as you think, your environment, the people who surround you, the opportunities that surround you are not as depleted of possibility and of opportunity as you think them to be. This is not to say you should accept offers that are below you, that you should commit to people in any sort of partnership that don't feel like those true, highest level, ultimate connections and like your true people and like your true network. This is telling you that certain things still are there for you to benefit from, even at this time. It's also telling me, don't wait to see possibility for alignment. You can see those little signs even right now, exactly no matter what's happening in your life. There are indications of alignment, and the Temperance card really also does remind me of this Bridge card too. Usually we have an angel who is pouring two different cups into the same place, and this speaks about balancing of energy, and once again, balancing of spirituality with practicality. It's about basically committing to this process of materialization of your dream relationships, dream success, dream abundance, without second guessing that it's not happening. Because look, we have the Seven of Pentacles that I mentioned before it even came out. Yep, there it is. Things are brewing behind the scenes. Just because they haven't happened yet, they haven't fully blossomed yet, does not mean that they're not happening. And, as you accept this task of assuming that things are happening and that they're possible, you're going to be shown what next steps you need to take. Again, it's not about knowing exactly what's going to happen down the line and what step you have to take at every single point of the journey. It's about simply taking that first one and committing to the journey and not second guessing and going crazy when things don't look the way you think they should at a certain point. We have a Fool here. Once again, look at this. This is crazy. The World again. And the Fool, this is the first card on Major Arcana. This is the last card on Major Arcana. So this is, once again, as I was saying, the ending of a big cycle in your life, the starting of a new one in the sense of your mentality and your connection to your passion and purpose. Because next we have the Queen of Wands, which is all about creativity and bursting forth into the world, like we were saying with all this Leo energy that came out. That energy, that true self, that true, beautiful, unique, powerful self that is there within you is currently suppressed because of this mentality that says certain things are limited or not possible. And this is telling you that as soon as you assume that things are not limited and not impossible, that essence is going to illuminate you from within and externalize itself. And through that externalization of your true self and true energy, you will attract exactly what you need. The right people will be drawn to you, magnetized to you, because you are more in that state of authenticity, and the right opportunities will come up for you because you will be in that state of energetic match for your desires. So I'm going to keep the card that came up in the original shuffle of this reading because I think it's super appropriate. It says, "There is nothing sexier than my authentic truth." And yeah, this is so completely true. This is, basically, if you've been sort of wondering what you've been doing wrong or what about you stops or is blocking these things, there's nothing about you that's blocking them. There's something about your mentality when it comes to recognizing your worth and your power that might be blocking these manifestations. So the only thing that you can do is be radically more you in every sense of it. Whether that means being, alone for a while as you work on these dreams, whether that means straddling between worlds. It feels like, whether that means being on that seesaw where you're trying to go forward, but you still have to, for practical reasons, hold on to older energies or structures or situations because of, you just need to, survive. That doesn't mean that you should let go of those dreams and you should try to change something about you or to basically, remove or taper some of these dreams or eliminate some of them because you think that, they're not practical or that they're never going to happen. So therefore, the only thing you can change is yourself and your desires. No, this is telling you the opposite. Do the opposite. Embrace those dreams in your true energy even more radically and powerfully, because again, that is what will truly attract your real connections and your most authentic connections and realities and feelings and experiences of abundance to you. It's not you trying to fit in, right? And to be one of these fishes like everyone else who just accepts that daily endless spiral of a grind. This is about you breaking away from that first before you can enjoy the flow again. At some point, you know, you're going to be in that state of flow once again, but it's going to be at a much higher level where it feels that it's happening truly in alignment with your highest dreams and realities. And you're going to just be amazed at the fact that so much positive transformation has happened. You're going to be sort of shocked also. We have more lightning energy here with this Hierophant card, which once again talks about, together with this Two of Wands, talks to me about the Tower. And that's not just, first there will be like sort of inner epiphanies, but then once this reality and these dreams externalize in the material world, you're going to be shocked at just how possible it all was. You're going to be so thankful that you stuck through it and that you didn't second guess the fact that everything was blossoming behind the scenes, and that you were always going to find that key or those keys to success and to, you know, attracting towards yourself greater love and abundance. So let's get you one final piece of advice, little card here. Okay. Well, okay, fine. I will take both of these, even though there's two of them. That's okay. Well, we might even take three of them because they're so important and so resonant, I think. So it says, I teach people how to treat me. Very important here. And this is waxing gibbous moon. See, look at this. This is beautiful, ideal partnership. This is a mirroring situation. The more you basically embrace that true essence and state of energy that is really you, that very beautiful Leo energy is all about the deepest depths of authenticity. Once you sort of let that shine forth more so, you basically just attract people that understand that and that really appreciate that, rather than being in this state of self-defeated, like, oh, you know, no one's going to understand me, so I might as well just give up. Don't do that, right? And it says, I let go, I release, I am within perfect possibility. Dark moon. The dark moon is a time when, this is very much Seven of Pentacles energy. This is the time when things are not, you can't look and see progress, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. In fact, the dark moon is the time of greatest potential in the lunation cycle, because that's right before the moon passes in to a different sign, and it's sort of, there's like sort of limitless potential there. So trust that that is happening for you right now. And I'm open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. What a perfect note to end on here. So this is what I have for you, pile number one. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I would love to hear your comments, your stories down below. And of course, I would really appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribes. There are more videos out there that I posted on love lately, so just take a look at those. And I hope to see you back here at some point. I hope you have a lovely day or night and week ahead whenever you're watching, and see you. Bye. So hi everyone who picked pile number two, as well as this fluorite heart. So this reading is going to be all about the potential blockages that might be there in your life when it comes to love right now. So the first two cards are going to signify what this potential blockage is, as well as what area of your life it's happening in currently. And these two are going to give us further information about that. In the second part of the reading, we're going to ask the question of what you should do in order to open those channels of receiving love even more powerfully in your life. So I did say in the intro of this video that you shouldn't come to this reading necessarily assuming that there's something wrong with what you're doing. If there isn't necessarily a big blockage right now for you energetically when it comes to love, Spirit still will want to show you something about what you should do in order to receive even more love, even more fulfillment and abundance in your life, so that you feel happy and excited about everything. So let's get started without further ado. So your potential blockage at the moment is being represented by this card here, which says responding, not reacting. This is the only control we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. Okay. So similar to pile number one, I'm sensing a lot of sword, mental, intellectual energy, a lot of mental blockages. Although for you, I'm getting more of a sort of Five of Cups vibe in the tarot. So before we get into that deeply, let's also take a look at the second card. So this signifies the area of your life where this blockage might be taking place. So it says ancient, ancestry, Egypt, magical inheritance. So I'm getting a lot of water energy. This is making me think of the 8th house, which is associated with Scorpio, as well as Pluto and Mars. and which typically talks about ancestry. It talks about inheritance in general, and about simply the lineage of your experience in life. So this could mean a lot of different things for you. What I'm sensing already is that this has something to do potentially with the karmic energy that you're experiencing right now through your reality. You might have certain blockages that are coming through from your ancestors or your family members that maybe you yourself have not experienced, but that are actually still taking place at this subconscious DNA level. Another thing, of course, this could have to do with some disappointment that you've experienced in the past, where you feel very unlucky in the way that you've been treated by others in love specifically. I think that has a lot to do with personal relationships more for you, or potentially when it has to do with your experience of abundance, because the 8th house is also the house of shared income, of feeling, of receiving money as well. So you might not be feeling like you've received all that you've deserved in the past. And there's some energy here about feeling left alone, feeling abandoned. And that once again could have something to do with your experience in childhood, your experience in your family, maybe with other partners in the past. So this, I do have the feeling that it's sort of interwoven, the way that it's being represented for you and the way that it's taking place energetically in your life. So past experiences in any case are still reverberating in your current reality and making you feel lost, making you feel unsupported, potentially very unloved at some points, when you feel like you're sort of walking this path by yourself, and that you have to deal with the burdens of disappointments, past disappointments, where the places, the people that you invested your energy and your love into didn't pan out, where you did not feel matched in your energy, and you simply just didn't have the experience of fulfillment, and your dreams didn't come true, your hopes didn't come true. So I'm going to also roll the astrological die to see if we can clarify what area of life this is happening in specifically. But I do get some Scorpio as well as Capricorn and other earth energy so far. So let's see what this is about. Ooh, okay. So we do get, interesting, we get Leo, the 10th house, as well as the South Node. So the South Node is really all about the past and about seriously past lives. And exactly as I was saying, sort of in more advanced astrology, I tend to think of the South Node not just as past life, but basically the entirety of your ancestry. So that is very much indicated here. And with the 10th house coming up, which represents public image as well as career, this could definitely have something to do with finances, as well as just a general feeling of abundance in your life, where you feel that you have been born unlucky, perhaps that you've been born into poverty or into an impoverished situation, whether that is in relationships or in the material sense, or both. And that pattern of, I don't want to call it just merely a poverty mindset, but the past experience in your ancestral line of one of lack, of poverty, of feeling not taken care of, not feeling abundant enough, is still at the moment resonating throughout your experience, whether that is a part of your current reality or not. And this energy is still impacting your ability to receive love and abundance fully into your life, especially in your career, as well as in any partnership that you feel that you hope to feel empowered in, whether that is a work relationship, whether that is like a romantic life partnership, whether that is any sort of collaborative work. The 10th house is about you being in the world, and Leo is all about expressing your energy outward like the sun, right? Not about keeping it within. And there's this, because of the South Node, because of all of this stuff about the past and your ancestral line, there's energy within you that is suppressed at the moment. This beautiful sunlight and basically the energy of joy, of expansion, of love, of feeling like you're seen, like you're understood, like you're provided for, is being suppressed at the moment. So let's get more information about why this is and how it's taking place in your life. Okay, so we get the Death card, which is more Scorpio energy. And we also get the Star. So this is very powerful. You get 2 major arcana, and the Death card, of course, is about the end of a big cycle. And the Star is a card that signifies hope. So here it says the metamorphic moth. So one more positive way that I could view this suppression of energy within you right now is that you're in a period of transition where things feel sort of in the dark. And if this has been difficult in the past, and if you feel like the cycle is just never ending, there is something different that's taking place behind the scenes at the moment, where this darkness now is sort of being led in a different direction by your spirit guides, by your subconscious, by your higher self, so that it turns a corner that is more positive. It takes you on a path of greater abundance and of love and of receptivity. What often happens before a time of beautiful blossoming and expression and joy is that there is this period that feels very winter-like. And now I'm also viewing this card as a 5 of Pentacles, so I'm getting lots of 5s which talk about transition, as well as in general a time that might feel destabilized, and that could be destabilized for negative reasons, but usually when this happens before the end of a big cycle, it has something to do with a recalibration of energy within you that is already trying to shift, like very tectonically, almost like behind the scenes. Like there's this sort of slow movement that is happening incrementally, but before it really shifts, there's going to be that jolt of energy that transfers itself outwardly. And with 9 being indicated here, makes me think of the Hermit card. You might have experienced a lot of alone time, of feeling more alone than usual, of feeling like you're walking this path once again by yourself, and like you're in the dark and no one is guiding you, but you are being guided. And with this card signifying ancestors so powerfully, ancestors want, and your guides in general, are wanting to help you shift from this karmic pattern that is heavy and that is rooted in past experiences of poverty, of feeling like things are not enough, whether that is love, whether that is finances, whether that is recognition, success in general. They're helping you shift, and they're actually there with you throughout this time that feels more destabilized than usual, but that is all of that and that sort of energy of chaos for a reason. And that reason is that things are turning up for you with the Star here. It says the cosmic guide, yeah. The writing here is a little bit weird. I love this El Goliath deck. It's a little bit more esoteric. So this talks about literally the grid, I think, the cosmic grid of your life and the blueprint of your life is about to change, and it's been shifting for a while, and you're going to be given a reason to have more hope and to feel more joyous in anticipation of this beautiful positive change in your life, where you can expect to receive more. But it really starts from within, and from recognizing that there is this thing happening, and that there is this pattern, and that there's nothing that you did wrong to experience this feeling of lack, whether emotionally, whether materially, or in any other sense, spiritually. There's nothing that you did in order to cause this. At any given point, there wasn't some action that you took that ruined your path, or that took you back 30 steps, or that guaranteed unfulfillment for you in your life. So whenever the Star comes up, it's about manifestation as well. It's about feeling the shift towards the positive before it happens, so that you attract it to yourself more powerfully, and I don't want to say quickly, because things are meant to happen in divine alignment, but in a way where this path towards that positive change is a smoother one that you can enjoy, and that you don't have to feel so fearful about necessarily. That doesn't have to feel so in the dark, because anytime sort of Scorpio Pluto energy comes in, it can be a difficult energy to deal with, even though transformation and growth are positive things, right? They come with challenges, and again, right before the time that signifies positive change, there's usually some sort of period where your resilience is tested, where your hope is tested, and your positivity, your ability to remain positive and optimistic is certainly being tested. So I'm going to now go into the next part of the reading, which is going to be about what your task is in order to clear some of these more negative energies and to invite these beautiful positive ones that want to come into your life. How can you open those channels for receiving love more powerfully in your life, in whatever area you're inquiring about? And you could be hoping for more love and fulfillment in every area of life. So let's take a look, and the first card here that I have is going to signify your task. So what is it that you're being called to do in order to shift out of this energy, to raise your vibration so that you invite more of this joy and love into your life? So we get the Father. Okay, so more ancestral energy. And these cards will signify what you have to do and who you're guided by. So let's take it one step at a time here. So what I'm sensing here, first thing that I'm drawn to is this coin here, which once again reminds me of the 10th house, reminds me of the way you connect your idea of your own worth to your output and to your presence in the real world. So this is a card that usually signifies a lot of responsibility and potentially the burden of responsibility. So you might feel like someone who has to bear the burden of others. But how much of that burden is this uncleared baggage that has nothing to do with your own energy, and that has to do once again with the karmic cycles of your past and of your ancestral line. So there is certainly, I don't know, like the way it seems to me on this side of the card, we have this black and white energy, this very material, black and white mindset when it comes to worth and materiality. And here we have this, it's almost like I view this blob here as the elevation and the clearing of this idea of worth that is so centered on the visible, and that is so centered on a specific idea of what it means to be successful, what it means to be loved and seen and understood and appreciated. This really reminds me of the energy of the star, which is all about bringing your attention to the greater cosmic web of truth, which tells you that actually there is limitless potential out there. There's nothing that you've ever done that will forever limit you from experiencing blank and blank. There's nothing that those who are tied to you or to your family or to your legacy or with those with whom you have specific contracts. The 8th house also signifies like marriage and other partnerships, and the assets as well as energy that you receive from those partnerships. There's nothing that those partnerships could do that limit your specific energy and possibility to receive and to broaden those channels for reception in general when it comes to love, abundance, whatever else. So the idea with this is that there is limitless potential for you out there still in the universe. Nothing is limited. You're not ever going to run out of energy and out of worth and out of deservingness to get whatever it is that you're desiring, to get more of what you're desiring. There's nothing that makes you unworthy of receiving that. So there's definitely a message here about worth, self-worth, and self-love. So it really all starts from within. It starts from asking yourself, what can you do for yourself? You might be someone who really bases a lot of their identity and worth and feelings of deservingness on the stuff that you do for others, the way you support others. But this is asking you to shift that attention to your hopes, to your ability to channel greater imagination when it comes to what is still possible for you. So let's see what you're being asked to do at the moment. And it says, okay, well, all right, solitude. Alone but not lonely. 31 also adds up to 4, which we had here, which is the number of the Emperor, which I also associate with the Father in tarot. So there is strength, because 4 is a number of strength. It's the number of stability as well as foundations. So there is strength in figuring out yourself behind the scenes. If you have to take extra time for yourself, if you have to tend to your own feelings, it looks sort of like this woman is kind of cradling a baby here. You know, you wouldn't deny a baby what they need, what they're asking for, right? You wouldn't be unkind to one if they were, if they just had food, if you just fed them and then they were asking for it again, like shortly after, you wouldn't say, oh, how dare you be so selfish. So this is what I'm feeling like a lot of your maybe inner monologues have something to do with you denying the true hopes and wishes of your inner child, as well as the most tender part of your heart. And there's nothing immature about what you want. There's nothing that makes you weak or irresponsible or incapable if you want those things. In fact, it is your birthright to feel abundant and loved, and to receive the exact same amount of energy that you give. So, yes, during this time we were talking about how before things get better, you might experience some sort of instability. You might feel stuck in the dark. This is once again asking you to take comfort in that, because you're not alone. I also view this as a sort of like cosmic mother holding you as this sort of child as you're going through this. And again, your ancestors and your spirit guides, they're not just there as this sort of negative karmic lineage. They want to help you shift out of these patterns that are unnecessarily difficult at this point. And with your guides coming through as Angel of Truth here, they want to show you that there's so much more possible than what you're telling yourself there is at the moment. Phanuel and Angel of Truth, right? So this is really about connecting to your higher self in the end, and realizing that actually the things that feel inaccessible to you are so easily accessible if you just shift into that higher dimension, if you just open that channel, that spiritual channel, where you receive more tangible and emotionally significant signs that you're being supported and loved already, and that all of those things that you're wishing for, whether success, whether love, whether partnership, that is like a sort of power couple thing. I could see that with Leo in the 10th house there. Like if that's something you want, there's nothing about that that is not meant for you. You deserve all of it, and you can get all of it. It's all about basically shifting that mentality from one where you feel like you have to bear certain burdens in order to feel worthy, like you have to struggle in order to feel worthy, like you have to always work hard in order to earn things. Yeah, let's see if we can get any more information on what will happen if you accept this task of being the strong individual that you are, but basically reconfiguring what worth means to you, specifically when it comes to self-worth, and balancing out this desire to be someone who is successful, significant, powerful, with the feelings that you have, which are asking you to invite more love in this softer sort of way. This is also sort of balance between masculine and feminine energies, which are of course not tied to biological gender in any sort of way. So let's see what will happen if you do embrace this task, which is to reconfigure basically your definition of self-worth and of power. And basically to trust that you are being more guided and supported than it feels at the moment, which, will involve some time alone, some reflection, some potential dark night of the soul. So we do have Son of Swords, which is the Page of Swords, I think. So there's going to be some, okay, and the Daughter of Swords. I think that might be wait a second, this might be the Knight of Swords, this is the Page of Swords. Okay, so there will definitely be some mental resistance, some logical resistance to this, some logic-based resistance to, what am I doing wasting time, like wallowing in self-pity, or, I don't know, being indulgent and just kind of sitting here in the dark, like watching Netflix or something and not taking action, and opening up this door to this sort of limitless, it might feel like a limitless pit of, once I open that door to that part of my heart that wishes for something along the lines of love and support and things of that sort, rather than success and power and a feeling that you have to maintain certain roles and responsibilities in order to feel worthy. Like you might feel like it's sort of like a bottomless pit because that door has been like basically closed for a while. Okay, wow, a powerful reading over here. So let me just take a second to reflect on these cards. So there's definitely going to be some mental resistance to this process of opening up. So with the Lovers and the Three of Swords here, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory when it comes to partnership and being matched and feeling like your burdens are shared as well as your joys are shared. There is some sort of deep disappointment in the past where you felt abandoned, basically, is what I'm sensing. That as soon as you open that part of your heart, you were left in the dust, and you wish that you had never opened that part of your heart, and that you had never focused on that wish that was in a way so sort of risky for you, because you're someone who, as soon as they sort of open up, like, you want to do that in a way that is full and complete, and you don't sort of open, you're not really capable of opening your heart halfway. So when you do that, you have to feel safe and you have to feel matched, and you want for the other person to feel powerful as well, because you're such a capable individual. You're such a powerful person, right? So you're looking for equal strength in the other. And when that person is not capable of being as self-sufficient as you, as hardworking as you, as smart and resilient and savvy and all of these different wonderful things as you, they sort of get triggered by your power. Anytime I see a lot of Scorpio Capricorn energy, there is an abundance of power that when you sort of embody in that sense that's unshakable, like, you know, this father, this emperor type figure, becomes very intimidating to others. And I feel like, well, on one hand, that's just your natural energy, but on the other, there is a certain part of that that is a performance of a shield. That spirit is asking you to sort of work on not taking down for just anyone, but work to unravel from within to yourself first, so that those who are capable of matching you can still match you. So of course, with any sort of Three of Swords energy that relates to a past experience partnership, as well as what I'm also still getting in this reading is that there is this sort of disappointment when it comes to a choice that you made that you feel was so significant and that impacted you negatively in your life. And that is preventing you from embracing this sort of star hope for a future that is better, and for a situation that will bring not just the same opportunity, but an even better one your way. You're sensing that there's something that you did that was, or some experience that you had, or both, based either on your own actions or on the actions of someone else, or both, that made your situation like irredeemable, or that is now preventing you from experiencing or from opening up to another opportunity of the same kind, because you're fearing that you're going to get disappointed, heartbroken in the same way again. So basically, once you accept this task of reevaluating your worth and your wishes, the true wishes of your heart, which have something to do with things beyond just power and success and feeling respected, because that's something that has become very important to you after this experience. You never want to feel disrespected again. You never want to feel your worth misunderstood, or just betrayed or taken advantage of, because you know that there's such power within you, right? Because of that, there is this reluctance to open up again, and it's totally, understandable, but you have to clear that lingering energy that is still there. I feel like it's there and you're aware of it, but you haven't really looked at it completely so that you may understand it from this broader perspective that we're talking about, in the sense of, this does not mean that the rest of your life experience has to be limited or repeat this karmic pattern of heartbreak and of feeling like you're in an energy of lack, where you're not getting what you're deserving, where you have bad luck in whatever area of life or multiple areas of life, but that there's still so much potential for you out there. So reevaluating the situation from that broader perspective, and then transmuting any of those blockages that are still there from unhealed wounds and unhealed traumas and heartbreak. And with my gosh, the Tower and Judgment coming up, like, this shift is going to happen anyway. This is Pluto energy once again. Judgment, this is very much Scorpionic reading here, and Scorpio energy is going to create change no matter what. You can do this work or not do it. this shift is meant to happen, right? Because we talked at the beginning of the reading how your subconscious, as well as your ancestors and guides, want to bring you this shift in energy and karmic cycles in your life where you're aligned with the greater truth, which is that there is still limitless possibility out there for you. So regardless of whether you do this work, this shift is going to happen for you. But once again, the main message I'm getting is that your guides want you to feel less fearful and less uncomfortable during this transitional time. So, the more you tend to these wounds and disappointments yourself, the less this tower moment and this shift here, which is a cosmic shift of lightning, is going to be a scary and difficult and painful one. So the more of this inner work that you do yourself, the more this shift towards an elevation of energy is going to come your way, and the more these channels of love are going to be able to be cleared, healed, and opened up in this beautiful, like squeaky clean sort of way. We do have the Ace of Swords coming up right after this, which signifies more lightning energy, and this is always, I think of it as a gleaming sort of energy. So there's lots of sort of shadow work to be done here, but the more of that you approach with yourself and on your own time, and the more that you basically, first of all, acknowledge to yourself that this is something you need, the more this process is going to be one of empowerment rather than further heartbreak or endless dark nights of the soul, which is what it might still feel like at the moment. So let's get you some closing messages and mantras here. Okay, that one wants to come through. Instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. Okay, so this brings up the idea of the broader perspective again, the spiritual realm, and it's also letting you know once again that you have more power than you think to shift your reality. And this might seem like this is also bringing up that idea from the beginning that you feel like it might be selfish for you to wish for certain things just for yourself. No, when you're elevating your energy, when you're working to heal your own energy, you're working to improve everyone's experience in life. You're helping to clear, transmute, and transform old cycles of wounding, of disappointment, of lack from the past. So this trauma can end with you on this long lineage of sort of, trauma transmission, which is a thing not just for, your own particular ancestral line, but just for the human line in general. So you have this immense power as someone who is being so represented and surrounded by like Scorpio energy to clear and transmute this energy so that with you, that cycle of heaviness ends and you drop the burden of those unnecessary suitcases that you're lugging around for any sort of idea that you don't deserve happiness, or you don't deserve greater joy, or you don't deserve to focus on your own heart's wishes. So let's get one final message here. I am ready for something bigger, better, and brighter. What a perfect ending to this reading. This is coming up your way, and it's coming whether you like it or not. It's going to be a whole cycle and a whole experience, and it's probably not going to happen overnight, although there might be certain moments of epiphany and certain sudden shifts where you're going to be able to discern this change towards the positive. And this is guaranteed, and it's coming your way. So the more you accept this task to work on the things that are still there that you feel or might be lingering, that might be negative and affecting you, the more that you're going to be working with your spirit guides and your ancestors to co-create this new, beautiful, bright, gleaming reality where you feel like love is overflowing in your life and abundance is all around you. So that's what I'm seeing for you, pile number 2. I hope that resonated. Let me know. I would love to hear your comments down below. I would really appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribes. And let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a lovely day or night and week whenever you're watching this. See you later. Bye. So hi to those of you who picked pile number 3, as well as this lapis lazuli stone. So this reading will want to bring your attention to any potential area of your life that might be causing a blockage to the energy of love. So this is about a potential energy as well as area of life where this is happening. So the first 2 cards are going to signify those 2 things, and then we'll get more information on what this is. And then the second part of the reading will be about what you should do in order to clear them. So as mentioned in the intro of this video, there is not necessarily a need to come here assuming that there's something that you're doing that is necessarily wrong or that is horribly blocking the energy of love for you, or that there is an area of your life that is necessarily in shambles. So this reading, of course, may apply to whatever degree resonates to you. So, take only whatever resonates always. So let's get started without further ado. So first, let's get into these cards, and I will also roll some astrological die that further clarify how this is taking place in your life, if that feels necessary. So the first card that comes up is Melting Mask. So it says, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. So that's the potential energy of blockage when it comes to love in your life, and the area that it's taking place in is signified by this card here: discipline, training, consistency, practice. So 1 and 6 is 7, the number of spirit and of intuition, and then 3 and 4 is also 7. So 7 might be important for you. Maybe there are actually 7 elements in your life that are significant to you, and this really brings me to the first feeling that I'm getting from this card, which is that you're someone who's working very hard at the moment. You might be focused on a lot of projects, a lot of tasks at hand, and many of them could be very different. So each of them could have its own energy. You might be doing sort of the job of like 7 people at the same time, and in order to do all of those jobs perfectly, you would need to be the only one doing just one of them, but you're sort of overburdened in the sense that you are expecting yourself to fulfill all these roles, to ace all these tasks, which 1 or 2 of them might make someone else's plate completely full, but for you, you're like, no, I can take it, I can take on all of this. So you're expecting yourself to be successful, to be extremely powerful, and to be sort of multitasking in this heightened, almost manic sort of way. And at the same time, you basically have tied your own idea of self-worth to this multitasking personality, and therefore you've also made others expect of you to take on more energy, more roles, more jobs for them. You also have a sort of idea of yourself that you can take on more, whereas others can't. You would rather do the jobs of others because you know that they can't do it as properly as you can or as well as you can. And you would rather be stuck with that extra burden than to see certain things get completed in an imperfect way, or in a way that doesn't feel as powerful or as just in general successful. So you're someone who, you might have a lot of Virgo energy as well, a lot of Capricorn energy I'm sensing, a lot of Earth here, as well as potential mutable energy, so Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius, and oh my gosh, I already said Virgo, right? Yeah. So let's just roll the die and see if we get any more information about how this is taking place in your life. And I feel like basically the fact that you are working so hard, and this is giving me 6th house vibes, and your daily job, just your daily reality, it might be disconnecting you from spirit energy, in the sense that you have enough spare energy and time to focus on what you truly want at the soul level, at the heart level, which is love, which is what this reading is about. So let's see. Okay. Oh my gosh, Virgo. 0% surprised to see that. South Node as well as 1st house. You definitely might have important placements in Virgo. And the 1st house signifies the house of body. And there's basically an approach to your conception of physical reality at the moment that is depleting you of energy, because the South Node could also be referring to depletion of energy to a point, an energetic point where you're losing rather than gaining. So for you, this super overproductivity might be something that is depleting you of energy rather than giving you the results that you want. Because you might be saying to yourself, you know, the more work I do, the more successful I will be. The more work I do, the more accolades I'm going to receive. The more work I do, the happier I'm going to be, the more connections of a successful kind that I'm going to attract. But actually, the sort of paradox is that the more of this multitasking role or series of roles that you are adopting, or series of projects, or just an overabundance of projects or of tasks that you are taking on and overburdening yourself with, the more this forces you into certain molds and sort of cements certain masks and certain performances of yourself to your being energetically that you might feel don't represent you, and that you could totally sort of shield yourself from becoming fully, but that are just simply attaching themselves to you. The more you engage in them in this sort of daily way, in this repetitive sort of way, this is really, it's also making me think in similar terms to, I think, was it pile number 1, about the idea and the energy of working a job that might not be related to your passions and working really hard and then not having any energy left over for either your passions or your spiritual work. And this doesn't even have to relate to that. It could just be that you are working something that you're truly passionate and you feel like your job is in alignment with your purpose. The South Node is about purpose. The South-North Node axis are about purpose, is about purpose. And this is telling me that, like, basically the message I'm getting is that even though you're in the right place, working on the right things, your job might be totally tied to your passion, you're approaching this in a way that is sort of paradoxically removing you from that in an energetic way. As in, for example, maybe you have your work, you're at your dream school, or you're working your dream job right now, and you love what you're doing, but you're working so hard in this material sort of sense that your physical being, signified here by house 1, is overburdened to the point where you actually don't have enough channels open anymore to receive the energy of abundance, of love. That just isn't available to you simply because you are so overburdened. So it's almost like, yeah, like too much of a good thing, but not necessarily. It feels like there's some sort of overly practical, overly material approach to the way you go about your daily routine, your job, and the way you go about performing your roles in society, whether to others, whether at your job, that is disconnecting you from enjoying the present moment in a way where you can invite love in and connection that fulfills you at a deep soul level. There might be also a lot of anxiety, sort of a lot of perfectionism that has to do with, and I'm definitely getting now a second message of, yeah, you know what the deepest impulse to this I feel is, like, you feel that you have to work very hard in order to bring yourself to a point where you have to a specific level where you have to be at, you say to yourself, in order to receive love. And if you are not at this place, if you are not as successful as blank, or if you don't have this certain number of achievements under your belt, that somehow that makes you less worthy of this true love that you want. Whether that is broadly interpreted in your life, in all of your relationships, whether it comes to self-love, which I'm sensing is the case here, or whether just in general when it comes to receiving abundance. This is all interconnected, and I'm definitely getting the sense for most of these piles, it's all interconnected. So there is definitely a feeling here that there's something you need to do, something you need to fix to improve about yourself, certain things to earn before you can have this. That's what it feels like to me. So let's get more, and that's definitely the energy of Virgo in the first house as well. So let's get more information about what this is. So we do get the 6 of Cups. It says the reuniting water hole. That's so sweet and cute. And the Trinity triangle here with the 3 of Cups. So Cups energy. I do get the number 6 once again. we did have 7, so that's important. Spirit number. You're being asked to tune more into your intuition and basically to align more to a state of flow that comes from your higher self rather than from your lower self, which might be all about the hustle and might feel like if you're going to be successful, you have to be on top of things in this sort of quick moving way. So attune more to your higher self in order to connect to this experience of the present moment where, yes, you're being productive and successful and you are working on growing and improving yourself, but not from a place where you feel that you have to because there's something about you that is wrong. And with the 6 coming up again, this really does make me think that you're doing this through your job. But this, as opposed to what I'm getting here, so much earth energy, is both of these cards are water energy. So this is once again asking you to shift your focus to your emotional experience in your emotional life. With the triangle here, there's a sort of feeling of a back and forth. The Trinity triangle, it makes me think of sort of endless triangulation between certain tasks, certain energies, in a way that is endlessly repeating. And there's a certain like ominous aspect. I mean, this is of course the beautiful El Goliath Shadow Tarot deck, so it's all going to be a little bit more intense, but there's a certain ominous feeling because the 3 of Cups usually signifies like connecting with friends, with coworkers, enjoyment, celebration. At the higher level, usually it means connecting to inspiration and to your higher muses. And thinking of that here and this sort of ominous aspect of the 3, the triangle, triangulation in general, this geometric shift from one side to another, makes me think there's this jagged energy when it comes to your relationship with the state of flow. Like basically, if you want to get into that creative mindset that really is the source of your true power, true talents, true feeling of enjoyment in life, you're sort of so overburdened by all these things that you're doing that your relationship to that state of flow is one that is strained at the moment. And with this reuniting water hole and these beautiful hippos here, sort of looking adorable. Sort of they're looking kind of like they're about to get married. She's wearing a sort of flower crown here, and she has, I think, traditional like Indian jewelry that reminds me of Indian weddings. Anyway, there's this sort of reunion that wants to take place for you on 2 levels, I'm sensing. One, at the energetic level, between all these different parts of yourself that you've sort of disunified by splintering your energy on so many tasks at once, on fulfilling so many roles, both for yourself and others. There's this sort of reunion that wants to take place between all these different facets and sides of you, so that you feel whole from within, so that you're no longer approaching these tasks with this impulse that there's something about you that you need to fix. This is what I was talking about with that paradox, that I was feeling like this sort of task and goal and aim of yours to improve yourself, to make yourself more powerful, whatever, is sort of achieving the opposite for you, because energetically it's taking away from even more, it's taking even more away from the energy that is inspiring you in the first place to work on self-improvement, because it's disunifying you energetically, if that makes sense, from being in a state of wholeness and union from within. And with reunion, the other message that I was getting here is that there's beautiful partnership and love and the feeling of connectivity as well as mutual reception waiting for you, whether this is in a love relationship or in general, and the energy of partnership all around you, the energy of true connection that you're sort of like evading in this endless triangular sort of movement, because you're running around a lot, and because of this impulse and idea and assumption that you have that there's something about you that you need to fix before that happens. Like, no, this is totally available to you right now. This broadening of that channel of love, if you just accept that, you know, you can be in a state of greater calm and connect directly to that state of intuition and to your higher self. And that's basically going to solve this sort of issue of running around for you. And that there's nothing that you have to do in order to feel worthy. You don't have to work hard in order to be worthy of this. You don't have to run around in order to be worthy of this. I also sense that at an even deeper subconscious level, you might be overburdening yourself because of deep down a sort of fear that when you do come into union with the partnerships that you're truly desiring, there's going to be something about you that they uncover, that those people see behind all these masks that you wear that signify power, success, capability, that they're not going to like. But if they're your true counterparts, whether romantically, in business, artistically, in any possible way, when it comes to financial matters, they're never going to, because what they actually really love and appreciate about you is that true, authentic core that is still worthy and beautiful and unique and powerful without all these masks and all of this sort of running around. So I'm going to now go into the next part of the reading, which is what should you do in order to better open up this channel for love and for reception. So the first card I'm going to get is your task, your main task, in order to experience this greater amount of love and abundance in your life. And we get the Queen, signified by number 11. And wow, we get another 7. My goodness. Wow, what an obvious card. Okay, and this is what signifies the thing that you should do to accomplish this task. And it says epoch, pause in your journey. Card number 7. And then this is the spirit guide, who is, or the energy of your spirit guide, whether this particular one or someone in your ancestral line or just in general, someone who's guiding you from my Angelarium deck here, who is with you on this journey and assisting you to accept this task, this quest, and to fulfill this thing that wants to bring you closer to love. So I'm not sure how to say the name, but Yesod, root connection. Okay, so what I'm sensing, there's definitely, with the Queen, this brings up the idea of roles again, and of wearing a heavy crown, and of needing to exhibit a certain kind of strength and power and allure and, I guess, charisma, in order to feel worthy and in order to feel like you're capable of attracting others. You might be questioning your worth, questioning your attractiveness. You might be making extra efforts to be attractive, to be charismatic, to be thought of by others as someone who is empowered and on top of everything. And that might be several of those masks and roles that you sort of put on every day. So there's definitely this energy of, I feel you like every day putting on a crown in order to go out in the world. And that crown is basically this combination, this collection of assumptions that you have about what you must do in order to be someone who is worthy of success and love. But so this task of yours is to sort of reconfigure what this role of power means for you. And this is a similar message to what I'm getting, similar message to pile 2 that I'm getting at the moment. But whereas for that, there was more energy of the divine masculine. This is all about sort of divine feminine. So it's always genderless, biological, in the biological sense, of course. But this is about more, not just power in the sense of stability and strength and practicality, but power in the sense of like, I do see this person like practicing the cello here, so this does make me think of artistic ventures as well. Power in the sense of charisma and allure and artistic creativity as well, or just in general attractiveness to yourself. So what is, your task is to reconfigure and redefine what attractiveness means, basically, and what success means. Does it mean doing all these things in this way that's sort of frantic? Does it mean, I don't know, basically every single day having to put on a certain amount of makeup or certain clothes or that crown, basically, in order to feel worthy of going out or to feel basically safe to go out and to feel like you are, worthy of attention. Because we also do have the first house, which is the house of how you present yourself, basically. So in order to have a better relationship to this idea of attractiveness and worth, you're being asked to pause in your journey, basically. This is literally a card that I always get when people who work very hard and who do tend to their soul development, to their basically self-improvement in every single sense of life, whether that is professionally, financially, materially, even spiritually, sometimes just get this card because it says like, all right, you've done a lot of work, but you keep going at this pace. So how can you really receive the benefits of all the work that you've done if you don't just pause and let all those channels open up in this beautiful sort of, I guess, just authentic and automatic, I want to say, way that they would by themselves without you pushing hard, without you sort of willing them to open. This is, it's sort of like the idea of falling asleep. Like if you try to, you're not going to. The same way, connecting to your higher self and opening those channels of receptivity when it comes to love and abundance. So it's the same thing here. You're being asked to slow down because right now, the overabundant work that you're putting in, whether spiritually or materially, is actually sort of being counterproductive because it's just too much. And with your guide coming through as root, thinking of the root chakra here, it's about, as soon as you connect to that higher self, like all of these things at the material level will basically be taken care of for you. You're not going to have to run around like you're some sort of like octopus trying to handle a million tasks at once. You're going to be able to channel this basically this tunnel that's like a shortcut that allows you to do tasks without as much struggle, to finish projects without trying so hard, to feel like you're on top of things and like you are a leader and like you are, maybe even still doing the jobs of others, but without anxious energy, without running around. As soon as you connect to that higher self, then this is going to happen, and all the stuff that you might overburden yourself and spend overly significant amount of energy on will simply just be sort of gone, evaporated, is what I'm sensing. So let's get some cards that will tell us about what will happen if you accept this task, meaning, reevaluate your relationship to power, to worth, to attractiveness, and to how that figures in your life. And if you maybe slow down a little bit and, whoa, you see how that happened? Yeah, of course, I see what this is about. All right, Torrid. I am going to take these three that flipped over and I'm going to note what all of these were, and I just want 5 cards. These did come out by themselves, but there are way too many on the other side. Okay, jumpy cards, jumpy. Beautiful, okay. Yeah, I think this is, let me see. Okay, interesting. So we do get the Father of Swords, which is the King of Swords here. So sort of counterpart energy to the Queen. Basically, what I'm also sort of reevaluating here is that you are more in this Father of Swords energy and this King of Swords energy, which is all about logic. It's about being the strong leader. It's about being practical and on top of things and quite literally just taking care of everything. Sort of I'm seeing like someone like holding a bunch of people through strings, like as though they are puppets. But you don't have to do that. You're being asked to shift more into a feminine sort of energy, which is that receptivity. And I love this because at the bottom of the deck we have Ace of Wands followed by the High Priestess, which is literally all about becoming a channel for higher energy. And this, you are going to have to go into hermit mode a little bit and to maybe disconnect from this overabundance of people or of energies external to you that you've been connecting with in order to clear your auric field, simply to eliminate this sort of, I guess, just overabundant, like collection of energies. Like I'm seeing here sort of an asteroid belt. Like, okay, they're like neutral figures in the universe, right? But you want your auric field to really sort of gleam around you, and you want your aura to be sort of cleansed. I do recommend like an aura cleansing if you're into that, or in general like a root chakra meditation, because you're being basically infused with a lot of potential to move forward in this direction where, like, I love this deck of cards. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot there, I remembered it, where there's a mixture of black and white and rainbows. And here, there's all of this. This reminds me of, no, this is the six, oh my gosh, I never know. No, this is the Six of Swords, yeah, the Six of Swords, but it does also remind me of the Six of Wands. But the Six of Swords is literally about moving on to new horizons, moving on from a phase of struggle. And, you know, there's this rainbow up there that you can glimpse, but you have to first glimpse it within yourself. You have to see that fulfillment and that joy and that potential for reunion. Where do we have it here at the reuniting waterhole? You have to accept the possibility for that and the quest for that, and to not hold yourself back, because again, I feel like subconsciously you're holding yourself back from opening that channel that makes you sort of vessel of receptivity for happiness, joy, and abundance and love, because you're actually fearing what's going to happen when you get that amount of joy and love. For some reason, that's what I'm feeling. Once again, yeah, Mother of Wands, yep, the Queen of Wands. This is literally the same energy here. This is about realizing that you have so much charisma, so much power, so much attractiveness already within you. You've already done so much work, and probably therefore have racked up a lot of successes and achievements and techniques and accomplishments. And you probably have, let's use more artistic metaphors, a whole portfolio of accomplishments that is actually significant enough already as it is. And just sort of here, speaking from recent experience as a pianist and artist, I've come to this place recently where, you know, all the struggle that I used to do on a daily basis to like improve my ability and to play more and more difficult things has sort of come to an end, where I'm like, you know what, I've done this so much like struggling hard work for years, and now I'm in this place where I'm like, you know what, I just show up every day. And it's like, yeah, I can play this most difficult piece of all time and I don't have to struggle. So it's sort of realizing that you're in this place where to apply the same sort of discipline, like backbreaking discipline as before, is actually no longer necessary, and it's being counterproductive and depleting you of this immediate sort of shift in energy that wants to come your way, that is able to bring you so much more fire and enjoyment. And the Ace of Wands is a card of fresh beginnings and of receiving blessings in this overabundant way. This is also the card of attractiveness and of being attractive. So if you are looking for a partnership, I mean, you are sort of in, like, your aura is spectacular at the moment. You might have to clear it in the sense of removing yourself from connections that are harmful to you, and that, you know, maybe people take advantage of the fact that you do so much work for others, you know, but just, you know, naturally right now, you're very just solar energy, I sense, and you have to basically understand at the sort of intellectual level that you are at that place. And when you do that, there's this beautiful, you know, evaporation of these struggles and this feeling of just overburdened. Like the card that's missing for me here is the Ten of Wands, which I did see in the shuffle. But anyway, let's get you some final advice. Can't shuffle. Okay, let's just get one card, please. Okay, fine, we'll take that one. Okay, I always trust the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. Yeah, so maybe a lot of you have been asking for a specific sign. Maybe dragonflies are important to you, or maybe you've been sort of working so hard in order to create security for yourself, because deep down you don't trust that things are being co-created with you behind the scenes by the universe, but they are. So this is another message I'm getting. A lot of this work and running around is unnecessary because a lot of it is already being done. Again, by your higher self, channel that higher self, and all these like different aspects of you and different parts of your being will unify again into your whole self. And you will feel more deeply supported, and like you don't have to try as hard to cover all your bases, because who knows what might go wrong if you don't run around a lot. Okay, one last card. I seek balance and grounding. Yeah, so grounding again with root connection. I really recommend doing yoga, meditation, and chakra cleansing as well. So this is the artwork here. She's sort of meditating on a mountain. So that's what I see for you, pile number, was this 3? Yes, I think so. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your comments, your stories, and I would really appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribes. And I hope you have a lovely day or night and week whenever you're watching. So I hope to see you back here at some point. Thanks so much. Bye. So hi to everyone who picked pile number 4, as well as this blue goldstone heart. So this reading is all about the potential blockage in your life when it comes to receiving the energy of love. So the first 2 cards are going to signify what this blockage is and which area of your life it's most currently resonating in. And then these cards are going to give us a little bit more information about that. And then in the second part of the reading, we're going to delve into what you should do to better maximize and open those channels of love in your life. So as mentioned in the intro, there isn't necessarily, just by simple reason of you being here, an area of your life or an energy that is taking place there and resonating that is necessarily creating this horrible blockage to love. But this reading is basically aimed to help you to open up that channel of communication to that energy of fulfillment, of abundance, of feeling loved, of being and embodying love even more so. So take whatever resonates, whatever degree that this is taking place at in your life. This sort of potential blockage is the one that is right for you. So without further ado, let's jump into the cards. Okay, so the first one, this is talking about what this potential blockage is. So it says misalignment. Miracles become normal once we face all of the aspects of our life in the same direction. And the card that signifies the area of your life that this is taking place in is the past is the present. Bitterness, grudge, refusal to let go. And oh my gosh, I see 17 and 17 from totally different decks here. That's crazy, actually. 1 and 7 adds up to 8. This is the 8th house. Once again, pile number 2 had a lot of 8th house Scorpio energy, so this might be resonating for you. I'm going to also roll some astrological die to further clarify the area of your life that this might be happening in. But before I do that, there is some sort of pattern in the past that you are currently plugged into that suggests to you that disappointment is inevitable in your life, and that there's something that has happened that has basically set you up for future failure and for future repetitions of the same karmic cycle. So this is definitely a similar message to pile number 2. So if you felt drawn to that one, then that may resonate for you as well. There's definitely an energy of someone having wronged you here, and you not letting go of that feeling or that experience in a way that actually hurts you more than them. So there's definitely a need to forgive someone or some situation, or even to forgive yourself for having invested in someone, having hope for someone, or having made a certain choice in the past that made you feel like now all is lost because it didn't pan out. In general, also this makes me think of splintered sort of energy, and wishing for one thing but manifesting another because of some sort of subconscious blockage when it comes to mentality. This is also giving me a sort of 9 of Swords as well as 5 of Cups vibe combined, which is about regrets and about being kept up at night because of certain regrets. and feeling sort of unsupported and helpless in a situation that makes you feel that the past is somehow repeating and that you're always the one who blank, blank, blank. You're always the one who gets betrayed, or you're always the one who comes into misaligned relationships, misaligned opportunities that don't give you what you feel you deserve and what you truly want deep down at the heart level. So let's roll these die and see, let's clarify the way that this is resonating in your life, reverberating throughout your life. What other sonic metaphors could I come up with? Okay, so North Node, second house, Leo energy. So this is about your purpose, and it's about your self-worth in connection to purpose. The second house is about the way you make money, you generate worth. It's the Taurus house. Leo energy is about solar power. It's about your expression of your true authenticity at the deepest level, and it's about you shining powerfully in your life, basically. And the North Node is about your highest life purpose. The axis of the South and the North is about you embracing your purpose and basically being relentless in it, no matter how hard that path is. And this is what I'm feeling right now, is that you feel that there's some sort of misalignment there in your life that is actually not the case. Just because things are not currently manifesting in the way that you're hoping for, it does not mean that you're on the wrong path. It doesn't mean that you made some irredeemable wrong choice in the past, or that any sort of relationship that you at some point aligned with was wrong for you. What I'm also sensing and hearing is that any sort of heavier karmic relationships that you've had in the past, where you maybe, gave too much and they did not reciprocate, were meant to teach you certain lessons in order to align you even more deeply and powerfully to your life purpose. So none of those things were for naught. None of them actually were a waste of time and energy, in the sense that you actually grew significantly from them, and that you experienced a lot of basically getting to know yourself at a deeper level because of the things that happen in those relationships and those situations that maybe did not align with your soul. Like, let's say that you've made a certain choice to be in a place or go on a path that basically felt unfulfilling to you in every single way. And you're wondering if, this depleted your soul power, this disconnected you from your purpose. And basically the message I'm getting here is that you simply strengthened your connection to purpose, your commitment to your deepest and highest ideal and purpose in this lifetime, and that this was meant to be a process that brought you closer to your true authenticity, and that actually furnished you with this opportunity to connect with and discover greater and a more varied set of tools that is going to help you uncover even more worth in the future, no matter what the circumstances are like, so that you now have this power to excavate potential in any situation that you find yourself in, and to find fulfillment and joy in even the most non-ideal situations. This is also a message I'm hearing about not waiting to be happy and embracing joy now, and embracing the assumption that you have this ability to connect with love and to attract love into your life right now, even if the circumstances are not exactly feeling aligned with your purpose, with your soul. Like, this is really the most important message I'm getting here, is there was never any step you took that misaligned you from your true path. Even if it felt like you were in the dark for a long time, like you're walking a journey that was thankless in any sort of way, or that depleted you of your potential and energy to shine and to be your true self and to interact with people who are alike, or who feel like a soul family kind of, and who share your values. The second house is also about values and your value system. You might have felt that value system challenged by this big experience that you've had, which felt like it was basically, removing you from your desires and your hopes, but it actually was meant to strengthen your values and your convictions by putting them to the test. I do not want to say in a dialectical way, but maybe in a dialectical way, in the sense that you were meant to sort of rebel against what you were sort of seemingly pushed to do, by simply becoming even more stubborn in your own energy and being relentless in your belief system. So let's get some more information about what this is about. Ooh, hello. Justice, which in this deck is card number 8. Wow, we basically have 888. Okay, this is crazy. This signifies the number of greatest abundance and fulfillment. So this is what really wants to come your way right now. And the 4 of Cups, yeah, you're in a state of not feeling excited or ignited by really anything around you, and you're wondering like, yeah, you know, I made the wrong choice. Yeah, I screwed up big time, and I chose wrong, whether it's the wrong partnership, whether it's the wrong job, whether it was moving to a location where you ended up hating it, or whatever it was. You're feeling like you might be studying all the time and doing work all the time and not finding any sort of other fulfillment outside of that. With this, I don't know, it's making me think of an obsidian globe here, and of wanting to see, you're not able to see future potentials. If this is, I'm so sorry, a song from Lana Del Rey is coming up for me. It's High by the Beach. Listen to it if you want. But basically it's saying like, if this is all there is, I just want to get high because this is not enough. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just, it popped into my head. I'm not recommending doing any drugs. That is not what this is about. Anyway, so you're not able to see the potential at the moment because you feel like everything is so magicless around you, and if you are to experience a sense of magic, like, you have to fully create it, and you might be sick of doing that. Yeah, and it says the wandering mind. Yeah, your mind is not necessarily, like, there's nothing that really catches your attention, that makes you feel excited. There's also a sort of listlessness in your life right now, and you're waiting for that sort of injection of passion, and maybe for someone to meet you, you know, in that energy that is authentic to you, and to share, someone who does share your values, someone who makes you feel like a sense of soulmate recognition too. Yep, exactly what I'm getting with Justice here, the doves of equality. You're looking for that fated soul partnership and soul contract too. This is really bringing up, this is Libra energy, so that might be significant to you. Water energy might be significant to you. I'm definitely sensing a lot of Scorpio and Libra. Potential Pisces, this girl here, the way she's looking, don't know why. That's about it. Don't worry if this does not resonate, just a further confirmation for those for whom it does. Yeah, you're wishing to be matched, and you're wishing for true resonances to your soul. You want to hear more of that around you, but you're not really hearing it. You're not sensing others echoing you, and it's not like in this, you know, I guess selfish sort of way where you want to see yourself mirrored in everyone, and you want your, you know, opinions to be parroted back to you, or you want your sort of values to be unchallenged at all. No, you just want, basically, like, I'm getting the sense of like, you just want to be able to talk to someone at your level. So let's see, what are we going to do next? Yeah, I'm going to go into the next part of the reading, which is about what your task is in this situation in order to open up those channels for receptivity when it comes to love more than they are at the moment. So we have a card for what your main task is, a card for how you should go about accomplishing this, and one for who your spirit guide is at the moment, what their energy is. Okay. Ooh, interesting and intense. So, the Judge, we get more Libra energy. This is very much tied to this, but the way I'm seeing the Justice card in this deck is there's a lot about forgiveness, about peace involved. Again, I'm thinking back to this situation, this perhaps betrayal that you've experienced in the past, whether it was with someone else or whether it was you seemingly betraying yourself by choosing something that feels misaligned with your soul purpose. Now, there is this need to forgive, but here, what I'm sensing is that there's this unwillingness to forgive, or this unwillingness to sort of go down, take that elevator down to your heart chakra from your sort of like third eye, throat area. This is very sort of Swords energy, again, which is mental, which is logical, and there's this sort of unwillingness to, I guess, what I'm seeing with this hand here reminds me of the energy of the Hierophant in its highest sort of octave, which is about spirituality, and it's about realizing that you can connect with something that is more magical and more fulfilling, and you don't have to take this sort of outsider stance at this point just because things didn't work out in the past, and you don't have to actually judge as harshly as you are at the moment, to the point where, maybe you are somehow missing certain elements of opportunity or fulfillment, again, in the present moment. You don't have to wait to be happy, to be joyous, to be embodying of love. There's this unwillingness, I feel. I don't know why I feel that energy for you, to fully be in the heart energy, because you're in a protective state, because you don't want to get disappointed again. You don't want past karmic patterns to repeat. And simply because also sacral chakra energy is coming up. Whenever I get the Four of Cups, what this usually signifies to me is an imbalance of sacral energies. When passion and excitement is missing from your life, actually, it's not even necessarily that there aren't opportunities for it around you. It's because there's a misalignment within you to that channel of receptivity. And this is what I'm sensing. I'm getting a sense now, finally. This is the feminine chakras, that of receiving energy and of opening that center of sensuality again. So really the sacral and the heart are in need of rebalancing for you. What you're being asked to do is paradisical. Do not know if I'm saying this correctly. It says you belong to paradise. 2 and 4 equals 6, which is the number of daily routine and of balance and of love. So multiple things. So basically on a daily, your spirit guides are wanting to tell you that you can basically open yourself to receiving. So we get, don't know how to say his name, but Hod, left leg submission. So this is the energy of your spirit guides, or this particular one, or someone else who has this sort of energy, or who wants to tell you, or who wants to give you a message of this kind, which is to open yourself up to that submission, receptivity, similar energies for me, in a sense, where you don't have to put up this barrier. You don't have to be in this maybe combative mindset when it comes to shielding yourself actively from others, and to sort of keeping yourself in this prison of listlessness. Basically the shortcut to opening that channel of love in your life, once again, is to rebalance sacral energies, which are about sensuality, creativity, is to do something that really makes you reconnect to true soul passion, in a sense that it reactivates those centers of enjoyment in your life. So the sacral chakra is about sexuality, sensuality. It's about creativity, as well as the water chakra is the feminine chakra. So on a daily level of experience, your spirit guides are telling you, open yourself up to receiving this joy. Don't wait for it. Don't think that, you have to be the judge and to decide that right now it's not the right time for you, it's not the right people, it's not the right place. Again, this process was meant to bring you closer in alignment to your true purpose and to your ability to recognize worth within yourself, and to feel even more deeply connected to your passions, not to take you away from it, and not to give you this horrible lesson of look, life is horrible and nothing is exciting anymore past a certain point. And I'm just getting this sort of drone-like energy from you. So this is basically asking you to open up to the idea that it is possible to experience being spiritually connected and fulfilled and loved on a simply daily basis, and that there is nothing that you have to wait for in order to basically assume this reality right now. So if you accept this task of becoming less of this sort of King of Swords judge and open up your mind and your channels for receptivity of that more sensual energy, and reconnecting with your passion somehow, what is going to happen when you basically, if you accept even at the sort of intellectual level, as in like, I accept the possibility that maybe I should take on this task. What's going to happen if you do that? Yeah, you're sort of like watching from a distance, and maybe watching others have fun and seeing like, oh, you know, how can these people sort of laugh like that and be, you know, enjoy their life like that, and don't they see how dumb everyone is around them, and how this place or this situation or this group of people has no like worth to them? Like, ugh. There might be a sort of deep down, I'm not saying you're an unkind person at all, but a sort of judgmental attitude happening here. But it's coming from a place where you yourself are just misaligned, right? Because it's all about that energy of misalignment here. Yeah, Son of Swords, I was just talking about that. This is the equivalent of King of Swords, and no, Knight of Swords. We also have a Nine of Pentacles. There's a refusal to join others because of some sort of misbalance that you perceive is there intellectually or spiritually or both, that makes you say, you know, I'm better off alone. Like, you know, it's useless to even try to connect with these people. But this is, you know, blocking that energy of love from coming into your life. Even if you are, let's say, in the absolute horrible, most bad, gross, worst place for you in the world at the moment. I am not speaking from experience here. Just kidding. You know, there is an energy that you can still align with from within in your own private space that connects you to that higher self, that channel that your higher self can give you, which connects you, even if from afar, to the opportunities and connections and relationships that are meant for you, truly. This is the Eight of Swords, yeah. This is a sort of cocoon here, right? You feel like, you know what, another dumb song that's popped into my head. My gosh, I am just a horrible jukebox of gross music today. No, I'm not. I love Lana Del Rey, but the next song really is like a throwback. Wake Me Up When September Ends, Green Day. This is what I'm feeling for you. You're like, you know what, just tell me when this crap is over and I'll come out of my cocoon then. But you're being asked by Spirit to do this now. Because why endure another moment of unhappiness when you have the power to just shift that from within at the moment and to align to those situations and experiences, even if you are in a place or a situation that makes you feel like you are completely stuck and, you know, where your options are limited, or maybe where your potential for connections are limited. Oh my gosh, things are extremely violent in this reading. Wheel of Fortune. Things are going to change. You can make them change faster. And I'm not, you know, someone who's going to sort of, I do believe in divine alignment and in the sort of, you know, don't act overly willfully when things feel like they're not moving. But basically this is saying that you have actually the power to shift things starting right now. And it's about basically the web of your own will with divine will here. And, you know, as soon as you sort of put out that wish actively, not in this passive aggressive way, that you want things to change in your life, this wheel is going to turn in your favor. In the context of this reading, this is what I'm feeling it's saying. And the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck here, this is beautiful. This is the card of soulmate union as well. I view this as a sort of twin flame card. I view this as a sort of portal card to a higher reality, where stability is not something that feels depleting or unspiritual, but rather that feels truly fulfilling at the emotional level. So you're being asked to shift this blockage that you do have, I think, to the energy of love right now that's based on what you feel is available around you at the moment, which basically to you is nothing. But there is more available right now within yourself, and you can channel that. I do suggest, yeah, I mean, definitely this is about the sacral and heart chakra, 100%. It's about the channel of receptivity, really. And you are someone who's very productive at the moment, who's capable of completing tasks quite well. And again, this whole process was meant to bring you closer to your power, to your purpose, to gathering certain skills that you maybe never even knew you needed or wanted, or that maybe feel redundant. Like you might be telling yourself, like, I'd rather have just had 1 ounce of enjoyment and fewer of these skills, and I would be much happier. But think about all the amazing abundance that you'll get when you do align to your true external reality. But it starts from within first. You can't just wait for that moment. You have to start now. I'm being bossy, I'm sorry. It's just how this reading is coming up. Let's get you one final message for this reading. Well, that was 2 cards. I want 1 more card. Fine. Okay. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. Yeah. None of these karmic cycles have to repeat. None of these past betrayals have to take place again in your life. And you have to believe that you have the power to transmute. Well, first of all, really acknowledge the trauma that you have faced, the difficulty that you have faced, but to really go deeper into it and understand it and really sort of linger there. And maybe take this opportunity where you're feeling like unexcited about things externally to really do some self-reflection and to connect to that energy of, well, your spirituality, whatever that means to you. And that will allow you to transmute these blockages that you're having at the moment, which are telling you that, to open yourself up is to set yourself up for failure and for disappointment, and to make you unsafe. At the bottom of the deck, look at this beautiful pair of owls, so cute. When they lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. Yeah, so it's all about really faith and trusting that you weren't betrayed in this process, and that this whole thing, no matter how difficult it was meant to bring you closer to your purpose, to your truth, and to basically equip you with the possibility of aligning to even greater partnership and connection and love. So let's get you one final message. All right, that's the one. I explore my wildness and dance in pleasure. Moon god Dionysus. Yes, yes, yes. This is really about... Oh, no, I'm not going to talk about philosophy. Just really do what really makes you happy in this moment. You do not have to save your happiness for later. Right now, you can enjoy the present moment, and you can engage in things that maybe feel like a little silly to you, or maybe that you're watching others do and you're like, they're so immature for doing that. But no, you're really being urged to reconnect with your childlike energy, to your sort of like lightheartedness, as well as to that sacral energy, that more feminine state of surrender, and to your heart chakra, in order to keep yourself open to all these beautiful possibilities and this turn of fortune that really wants to come your way and bring greater light and love into your life. So that is what I'm sensing for you, pile number 4. I hope some of that resonated. Let me know what you think down below. I would love to hear your stories, to get some of your comments, and I would really appreciate your likes, shares, subscribes, and I hope you have a lovely day or night whenever you're watching, and a great week ahead, and I hope to see you back here again someday. Thanks so much. Bye. So hello to everyone who picked pile number 5, as well as the Sodalite heart. So this reading is going to be about the potential blockage in your life at the moment when it comes to the energy of love. So what should you do to recognize this and how to clear this? So as I mentioned in the intro, there is not necessarily a need for an assumption that there is something gravely wrong with the way you're approaching life, and that there is a sort of unsurmountable blockage that exists right now between you and your fulfilled desire of love and abundance. But regardless, we're going to take a look at what these cards have to say and what Spirit wants me to tell you about the potential blockage that there is in your life right now, in which area of your life it's resonating and reverberating in at the moment. So the first card is going to signify the blockage itself, and then the second one will be about the area of your life it's happening in, and then we'll get some further information about this. So first card is, we get confusion. Growth hurts, heals, and harnesses a way through the uncertainty. And we get this sort of 10 of Swords energy, this sort of reclined state after a storm or in the dark makes me think of the Ten of Swords, which is the end of a cycle of growth and of healing. And it feels like things are completely in the dark, but there is sort of this lantern in the middle here that's illuminating more like the solar plexus area rather than the heart chakra, but in any case the middle chakras, which have to do with feeling like you have some sort of power to guide yourself through this energy of confusion, of fog, of darkness in general, and of sort of overwrought mysticism, I want to say. There's something here that you don't fully understand about what's happening, and you're maybe someone who has already done a lot of work spiritually on yourself. Maybe someone who has already asked big existential questions about life, and now you're in this place that feels 3 and 6 together make up 9. It makes me think of the Hermit card, this place that feels very isolated, even from yourself. You might not even know exactly who you are at the moment. You might be in a place that feels foreign to you a little bit as well. But this is a temporary state, is what this is talking about. And it's also talking about the quest for spiritual truth and your own truth, and what your own particular system of values really is. This is really about this big quest in your life for what is meaningful to you at the higher, deeper spiritual level. This is making me think of Sag energy, Sagittarius energy, as well as Scorpio energy together. So if you have significant placements in those signs, this might be a further indication. If not, don't worry about it. This is about the search for higher truth, really, at the deepest level. So this might be something in relation to your spirituality, or maybe to your purpose in life, or maybe to your identity. This is really has been a time, I think, for the past at least 1.5 year cycle where you have felt challenged to ask these questions of yourself, and where maybe you haven't found all of the answers yet, or maybe not even any of the answers at a deeper level, but you're starting to see the light. You're starting to see some of this emerging truth. You've already started to glimpse this hope and this clarity, basically, that you're waiting for. This maybe like the first key has emerged on this quest, and all of a sudden I'm getting a flashback into this TV show I watched a while ago called The Magicians, and they were getting all these keys on this quest where they were on a ship at some point, and they had to like open several doors until they, anyway. So the first key has sort of emerged for you, and there are many more keys to be found, but you're already on your way. So don't second guess that you're on the wrong path or that you're not doing the right things. Already what I'm seeing is that you are in the right place, and you have more energy than you think, and you have more discernment than you think to understand yourself, your purpose, your values, as well as your quest for truth and for connection in life. So that might have something to do with your career, with your passion, but also just in general with connecting to others who feel close to your soul and part of your soul family, and who share your values and who feel like they're walking this path and this quest with you, rather than you walking it completely alone because you feel like it's only yours to walk, or like it's something that others are not doing. So with this card transmission here, it says this is the area of your life that it's taking place in, and 7 is the house of relationships. So quite literally, this quest for higher truth and for your true identity might be impacting your relationships, in the sense where you feel you're not able to come into union with others in a romantic sense, in any sort of other partnership sense. The 7th house is about more legal partnerships, more formal partnerships, but it could also just be with your friendships in general. Although I do sense with the twins here that there are certain friendships that are supportive of you, but there aren't truly intimate connections that furnish you with this opportunity for true, intimate, and beautiful, and I guess equal love, in that really overflowing sense that you are truly wishing for. I'm getting like Ace of Cups imagery here. Like that seems to be missing from your experience, and it's because you're conceptualizing that this process of solitary sort of questing is keeping you apart from those relationships. So it says spreading of conditions, influence, impact. That does make me think also of the 8th and 10th house, which a lot of, like most of these piles had a lot of 8th house energy, which is transformation as well as legacy and transmission and, well, shared resources. But anyway, let's clarify how this is sort of happening in your life. Okay, there's the North Node popping out, but let's roll them all together. This is about your true soul purpose, your highest life purpose. If it feels a little bit dark at some points, it's meant to bring you closer to your truth. There we go. 9. Oh my gosh, the 9th house of spirituality. Was just talking about that. Sagittarius energy. We also have Aquarius, which is about, okay, so there might be some issues even connecting with friends and with finding a community that really speaks to your soul. Jupiter, more Sagittarius energy. There we go. The planet of expansion and of spirituality and of growth in general. We also have growth here. So this entire situation experience that you're going through right now is one that you are meant to experience in this life, because growth is never, a walk in the park, but it's meant to bring you closer to those relationships and those unions that feel truly destined and that feel also really fulfilling, not just in a practical sense or material sense, even intellectual sense, but emotionally and spiritually. So what else did I want to say about this? Yeah, with Aquarius energy, there might also just simply be a disconnect from, like, there always seems to feel like there's a sort of limit even to your friendships, to your close friendships, like you don't fully, completely connect. And with Scorpio energy coming through as well, there might be a sort of inner blockage when it comes to you opening up that channels of connection because of certain assumptions and certain fears of vulnerability. Like if you open up to these people, like, what if they aren't really your soul people and then you waste that energy on them? Or what if they see the truth about you and then they realize they don't want you in their life, or something along those lines? So let's look at these cards to get further information about this. Wow, Ace of Cups and the Moon. So much water energy. Didn't I just mention the Ace of Cups? That's crazy. And the Moon? Interesting. Here in this card, it seems like there's this sort of like, I was thinking of the tides and of movements and of cycles as well here. This seems like the waning, or you know what, it doesn't even seem like a waning cycle. It seems like the dark moon, which happens right before the moon goes, the moon phase turns to the new moon. There's this brief period of time where it disappears completely. Like that's what it feels like you're in right now when it comes to partnership and to the feeling that you are receiving the love that you truly want. So with this moon here is being full, I think. It says the silver shadow reflector. Sorry, the writing is a little weird. The O's are very small in this beautiful El Goliath shadow tarot deck. So the silver shadow reflector. This is the same energy as this card. In the darkness, there is a sort of one orb of light really that's illuminating the rest. So while you might be potentially, for example, doing a lot of shadow work, it's bringing a lot of illumination on the aspects of yourself that you've denied or maybe repressed or simply did not know. And at the same time, the aspects of your life that are getting a lot of attention, or the relationships that are getting a lot of your more, straightforward attention and investment, or triggering certain shadows within you because of potentially this fear of vulnerability, or this fear that, or just this experience of feeling unmatched or depleted in your everyday interactions with others, or feeling like you don't have really the right soul family, you're not part of the right community yet. And you're wishing for this beautiful passion and emotional fulfillment and love in this overflowing, beautiful way, as I was actually saying before I even flipped this card over. But don't assume that just because there is this period of darkness or suspension or quiet or nothingness that this is not available to and that it's not coming your way. So the more you sort of get anxious about it and And I don't feel like you're necessarily like completely anxious about it. It feels like you just are in this natural state of the dark moon, which is totally fine and a valid state to be in. And maybe, again, I feel like you already have taken some steps on this journey of soul development, soul growth, soul exploration. And maybe you found one of those keys. You have to, at this point, just accept the cycles of this process and not assume that you're doing anything wrong just because things are not manifesting very quickly. It's all in divine alignment, really. And all of the other keys will emerge and reveal themselves to you at the right time on this path. So the next part of the reading is going to be what your soul as well as spirit guides are giving you as a sort of task in order to open up your channels of receptivity when it comes to love even more in your life, so that you receive more of this true feeling of love and abundance that you wish for in whatever area of your life that you're, or multiple areas of your life that you're wishing for it. So the first card will signify your main task right now, and it says the underworld. Okay, the moon is of course card 18. This one is let's see, excuse me while I calculate Roman numerals for a second here. Wait, am I wrong about this? 48? I might be wrong about this, but there's a lot of outer house numbers like 7, 8, 9 here. Lots of these repeating numbers as well. So yeah, I mean, this looks pretty much self-explanatory, right? I mean, this is the most like sort of Hades Persephone imagery I can think of. And this is talking about, once again, the state of the dark moon and of the waning cycle, which is, there's a lot of nurturing and a lot of nourishment within the state of decomposition. Bear with me, this might be disgusting, but this is once again Scorpio energy. Like when I think of the underworld, I think of the 8th house, I think of Scorpio energy. It's about the deeper inner truths and excavation. Again, if you maybe have like this is also something I associate with like a Scorpio North Node as well, which is literally the purpose is to explore such depths. And as I'm recording this, although this reading is of course timeless, the nodes did shift, well, quite a while ago already, into the Taurus Scorpio axis. So for some of you, this might mean that you are, even if you're listening to this past this period of time, maybe you're someone who's used to doing a lot of this excavation and you're wondering if there's ever an end to it. And like, it feels like maybe you've done this your whole life. That would be more like the South node at Scorpio, but the North node would be you're being challenged and encouraged to explore this process of deep sort of delving within, whether yourself or, you know, walking this path that seems a little bit dark and mystical and overly mysterious ways at times, because it will bring you to that treasure trove of keys that will unlock all the sort of areas of your life that you want more magic into, like more of an experience of magic in. So right now you're being, in order to embrace this task, you're being told to do the following. This says, Mirak, embrace oneness with the universe. Oh yeah, just, you know, embrace oneness with the universe. Very simple. So 16, that's again the number 7 added together. The number of intuition, of spirituality, and of partnership as well in that sense. So this is also telling me about embracing partnership before it shows up in tangible ways, maybe counterintuitively or in this sort of shortcut spiritual way. Also, of course, when I see Pisces energy here with the moon, which tells me I am recording this on the new moon in Pisces, so that might be significant for you as well. But the energy of Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer as well, but Pisces and Scorpio are really indicated here, talk about the possibility to connect in the astral realm and to connect through spiritual means and shortcuts to this reality that you want and the partnerships that you want by channeling this energy that is not so easily determined and not so easily quantifiable through some sort of mystical energy, whether that is engaging your artistic impulse, your fantastical interests, whether it is reading like fantasy novels or engaging in some form of healthy escapism as well, but on a higher level about This is about maintaining a spiritual practice and about basically connecting with the reality as well as the beings that you really want to connect with and bring into your life in order to feel greater love from afar, even if that has to be the case for a while, because, you know, you're in this natural waning / dark moon cycle, which actually signifies a lot of potential. Like, that's when the moon has the most potential, actually. So it's basically a time that is absolutely optimal for planting seeds and for making wishes, for setting intentions. And if your intentions are, I want to connect to this higher spiritual experience and maybe these higher spiritual sacred connections, then this is what's going to come your way. And the spirit guide who is supporting you throughout this, either this literal entity or someone who has the qualities or is bringing a message related to in energy to this entity, is Malkuth, ground, and the kingdom. So basically, this is what this is saying to me. It reminds me, this combination of energies reminds me of this card from the Moonology deck that says balance spirituality with practicality. So it's saying that if you set those intentions at this higher spiritual level to connect, to bring into your life this sort of magic, this sort of daily experience of sacred partnership and of basically fulfillment and of joy and of exaltation and self-knowledge in this way that makes you feel powerful and mystical and wonderful in positive ways, not in ways where you might feel dark or lost at times, there's such a heightened possibility right now for manifesting it on the earth plane. So whenever you're watching this, if it is a Pisces moon, if it's not, there is this heightened potential right now for you to set certain intentions, even if you don't know, and this is crucial, I think, how they're going to come about. Basically, it doesn't matter if you don't know what the next steps are. This is about using lunar energies to your advantage. This is, like a deep reading. I would be super surprised if those watching this don't have some sort of mystical element within themselves or some sort of mystical interest or ability. This might also speak to untapped into psychic power and spiritual power. Really getting the sense that that's the case for a lot of you, or for most of you here. Oh, that is not the set of cards I want right now. What I want to ask right now is, what's going to happen if you accept this task of the underworld, this task of sort of surrendering to the cycles that are currently and naturally here in your life, of being in the state of darkness, of potential, but one that feels a little bit difficult, but yeah, okay. Wow, nice. Okay, it's been like this whole shuffle. Beautiful. Love to see that. Let's get, okay, you know what? Yes. Let's get one more card for you. We want 5. Okay. Interesting. I'm just thinking here. Okay. Yeah, so you might feel like you are still in this state of suspension. Like, you might feel like you've already been doing a lot of this work, right? Or attempting to sort of connect to spiritual energy or to understand yourself. Here with the Hangman, this is a card of suspension and of feeling like you're in a state where you might not have a way forward, or you might not have the necessary tools for manifesting things into the reality of your life. So it might also feel like, if you haven't done as much of the spiritual work, it might feel like you might be wasting time doing this, or might be sort of, I don't know, in a state that's unproductive, basically, compared to what you usually do, because you might, I don't know, be a more practical person who takes care of other things in life, like, you know, like all of us have to be at some point. But no matter what it feels like, this process of tending to that spiritual routine every day, even if it feels like it's having no effect and like you're still in the state of no returns, wow, it's like, it's really powerful. And even, again, if you don't feel those results right now, like what is brewing beneath is insane. 10 of Pentacles and the World, come on. This is ultimate achievement, ultimate manifestation of everything you've ever sort of wanted. The Ten of Pentacles is about success and love and legacy and family and everything. The World is the last card in the major arcana, signifying a cycle of completion and of manifestation, of bringing things into reality. And the Eight of Swords in this specific deck, because it has this cocoon, that signifies for me transformation. Again, 8th house energy, so much Scorpio energy in this reading. This is talking about how, you know, it feels like right now nothing is happening and like things are suppressed, but what is going on within is so magical and abundant and it's ready to come out. But there's this sort of blockage, I think, of assuming that you're alone and that this will never manifest, never blossom. But what's really behind the surface is this beautiful co-creation between you and the universe. Again, we were just talking about that, which is when the time is right and when you found maybe, I don't know, like key number 2 or 3 is going to externalize itself in this beautiful electric, fast-moving sort of way that's sort of shocking to you in a positive way, because you're going to realize, man, I actually like gained all of those things, those skills, all of that self-knowledge. Like, you're not going to realize during this process just how much you've transformed by just tending to this spiritual, I guess, commitment to exploring yourself, to, even if it's walking in the dark for a long time in order to find your purpose. Like, you're going to realize just how much you've gained. Like, if you look at the past, like 10 years from now, you're going to realize just how much you did by engaging this energy that feels uncomfortable, that feels, you know, non-intuitive at times, that feels unclear. This is the channel that will bring you towards ultimate fulfillment, love and abundance, partnership that feels tied to your soul and sacred, as well as a reality that matches your truest dreams, where you no longer have to engage in any sort of escapism, because your reality will actually be that magical and you won't need it. So let's get one more card here for final advice. Now I can get this deck. Come on, please. Every shuffle has been so violent in this reading. Do not know why. Okay, there it is. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Yeah, so I think you already sort of know this intuitively. And it says, hope is the conduit for miracles. Yeah, so again, what was I saying sort of at the beginning is that don't assume that just because things are not externalizing right now that this isn't a process that should make you feel really hopeful about what's developing behind the scenes, because ultimate fulfillment is developing right now as we're speaking, as you're undergoing this healing, which might feel a little bit cyclical in a way that's repetitive and difficult at times, but which is actually immensely productive. And if you know you're feeling triggered by others, we were talking about how you're like the connections that you give the most light to and the most attention to, despite them being positive, might sometimes trigger you in unexpected ways. Like, that's a valid part of this process, and how the energies that are the most in the shadow are actually the source towards your greatest light. Like, we have so much like lantern imagery in this, with the lantern in the first card and the hermit here, and all this cocoon imagery. Don't worry about it. Like, triggers come up, like that's a sign that you're in the right process. And it's never, again, with so much like Plutonian scorpionic energy, like it can be a difficult process that feels scary at times, but really remember that you are being guided in this. And the more you trust that, again, that like co-creation is happening with the universe here as you're doing this, you know, the more of this abundance you can experience, even in this moment, which feels a little bit disconnected from its ultimate fulfillment. Like right now, you can get glimpses of that. Like we talked at the beginning, how you can get a lot of glimpses of the fact that you are doing well and that you are in the right path and that you are doing so much significant work. This is not meant to be a process that is entirely difficult or in the dark. You're meant to also enjoy parts of this. And you know, if it feels like a little bit like things are in the dark and decaying, like that doesn't mean that, I mean, to use that Persephone metaphor again, like there are lots of like she brings sort of the pomegranates down to the underground. Like there's a lot of abundance there too. Like that to me signifies abundance as well. And those things that are born of the darkness don't have to be things that are depleting or that are, I don't know, scary at all. Wow, look at this. Interesting. This is once again the energy of sort of the dark moon, and this is micro moon. I'm not even sure exactly what that means, but it says I let go of the anxieties of others. Interesting message. I think this might relate to you also being a very absorptive person of energies around you. And yeah, we're talking about triggers, right? And how engaging in certain relationships might sort of trigger you, even though you know that the interaction itself is positive. That might be you absorbing energies from those around you and making you second guess your own process and journey because of it. So if those come up, just acknowledge them and you will understand why they're happening eventually. This also speaks about your own purpose in walking that path without second guessing that it's a waste of time to do all of this energy work, all of this shadow work, maybe to engage in mystical activities. Like none of the values of others have anything to do with your own specific path. So just trust that you're in the right place and that you're doing a significant amount of amazing work for yourself, and that there's so much beautiful abundance and love brewing behind the scenes for you. And when it comes out, believe me, you're going to be phenomenally excited and shocked in a positive way by just how great it all is and how much you've already achieved. So that's what I see for you in this reading, pile number 5. I hope some of that resonated. I would love to hear your stories, your comments down below, and I would of course appreciate your likes, shares, subscribes. I hope you have a lovely day or night whenever you're watching, and a great week ahead, and I hope to see you back here again someday. Thanks so much. Bye.